Hi, this is Julie Hyatt with Three Sister Sundries. I am back to show you how I am going to make some tags and extra little goodies to put in my signature for the SignatureSwap18. I've got all my trims and stamping done, so now let's move on. I have decided that I wanted to put a little flap, and I've got this one sewn on, but I wanted to show you how I do that on one of my other pages that I haven't finished yet. So I want it to fold up, so when I fold my paper I want it to be right side up in this corner right here. But I'm going to take you over to the sewing machine and show you how I sew all the way around the front edge and then sew the pocket on all in one motion without having to cut threads and start again. So let's go to the sewing machine. Okay, here we are at my sewing machine, and I'm sorry, I am holding the camera on my lap, so it's going to be a bumpy ride. Anyway, I've got my little flap folded, and I want to stitch just on the top part of the flap around the front. So we are going to start right here at this corner, and when I get to the corner, I want to make sure my needle is on the outside edge of my paper. Oh, let me go a few more stitches. I'm kind of far away. That way, when I turn the corner, my zigzag will start to the inside and go over the stitching instead of off of the paper. And then I'm going to stop at this corner, same idea, to the outside, and then I'm going to raise my presser foot, and my needle is not in my paper, but that's okay because I don't really want it to be for this stage. So I'm going to flip it over, and let's see, I need to turn this. Oh, I got to figure it out. I want my pocket to go like, how do I want my pocket? To go like this. So I'm going to turn my paper this way, and I think I will put a little clip in there to hold it in place, and then I am going to, let's see, raise my needle. And go ahead and stitch. Get that out of the way. And same thing, needle toward the outside of the paper. Oh, I keep one more. There we go. And then turn. And then I just raise my presser foot and pull and leave some long tails so I can tie my stitches off. So that is how you make, or how I make, the little flat pockets without having to cut threads. So let's go back over to the work table and we'll continue embellishing. I really like some little embellishments on the flap of that pocket. So I found these cute little puffy hearts, and I dug out a few little white buttons. Oh, there's the puffy hearts and some little white buttons, and I have already threaded my needle with some baker's twine that I'm going to sew one of these buttons onto a puffy heart. But underneath, I really want to soften it with some cheesecloth. So I'm just going to cut a little square of cheesecloth and put it on right here with a little bit of Fabri-Tac. I'm just gonna put that on there, and there, that's nice and soft now. Okay, I am going to sew this button on kind of on the corner of this heart, this puffy heart. So I'm going to go down from the front, and I want it to tie in the front. And so I'm going to come up through the hole right next to it. And down crisscross. And then up in the hole next to it, so I'm crisscrossed from the wire, from the hole I started on. And then I will, you know what, I think I'll tie that before I trim it so that it will be easier to tie my little knot. There, and now I will trim that off and glue that little puffy heart on with some Fabri-Tac. And there we go. So that page is finished. And let's see. Okay, next I have some tags I want to make. I've already made a couple out of ancient paper that I have had probably since the 90s, when they used to just make patterned paper in 8.5 by 11 size. So I have one left here to make. So I've cut it into a tag shape. I think it is 2 2.25 by 3, and I have also cut some doily, one little doily, into 1/4. So I'm going to glue that on in the corner. Ooh, it doesn't show up very well on that lighter paper, but we're going to use it anyway. And then I'm going to add some stickers. So I'll be right back after I glue it. I won't make you watch me do that. Okay, I've got my little doily glued on. And to give it a little bit more dimension, especially with this lighter doily on this lighter paper, I'm going to add some little puffy heart stickers. So I'm just going to choose some little ones that will coordinate. Of course, they all coordinate because they're all from the same pack. Do a little polka dot and a little stripe. And that'll add a little bit of dimension. And then I have some ribbon somewhere in my mess here to just fold in half. And I've got gold staples in my stapler, and I'm just going to staple that ribbon tab to the top of my tag. There. And that's a little tag, and that will probably go, I can either put that in the bag, or I can put it in a pocket like so, or I can put it in a paper clip, which I do have. Where did I put that purple one? I'll show this one. I made these little paper clips from a cut file from Miss Kate's Cuttables, and I just added some craft foam to the back and cut a little notch out of that for my paper clip to sit in, and then just backed it with paper so it lays flat and it hides the paper clip in the back. So that can just be flipped to one of the tops of the pages. Let's see. Another thing I made. Oh, yes. I made a little paper clip with just a tassel that I got from the thrift store. It's pink and gold, and then that can go on another page, probably here. And to clip into that, I have some, well, let's see. I have some vintage Valentines that I printed just from images on the internet, and I just thought they were so funny. So I'm gonna ink the backs, and so that they look a little more vintage, and then I'll clip it to that paper clip. So I won't ink it right now, but I'll just clip it into that paper clip. And that will be really cute. Now I've also got next a little coin envelope, and I've stamped a little image here and cut it out with a little bit of a border, and I'm just going to glue that onto a patterned piece of paper. With the border of that showing, and then that will get glued onto the envelope. Like so. And then I wanted to put some trim on the flap of the envelope. So I'm going to add some glue onto the flap of the envelope right there with some Fabri-Tac. Just put a line of Fabri-Tac there. And I kind of want to follow the curve a little bit of the little flap on the envelope. Then I will trim that right like that. Then to go on the inside, I found some more images of little Valentines that are vintage looking. So I'm going to ink the backs of those. Bring over my Teflon mat, and I'm going to be using Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Vintage Photo for that. So I'm just gonna do kind of the edge here. Blend it all nicely. Okay, that way it won't look like I printed it off on white paper. It'll look more vintage on the back too. So that will go right into that little envelope there. And then this envelope will go into that little pocket there. Let's see, I think that's all of my goodies that I have to tuck in here. So that is my signature completed, and I have 3 others to complete. I've worked on a few of them, but that is my signature. So the next video will be when I receive the rest of my signatures, and I'll make a cover and put them all in a book. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.